tí àwọn àyànfẹ́ ti ń pàdé ó bani nínú jẹ́ omi márà lèyí Olúwa bá wa sọ di dídùn.
Omi márà lèyí o omi márà lèyí o bàbá omi márà lèyí o bàbá o. Ó lè dùn láìsí ọ Jèhófà o. Sọ di dídùn já Jèhófà o ẹ̀bẹ̀. Alákòóso ti gbìyànjú wọn kò lè ṣe. Alátúnṣe ṣàpá púpọ̀ apá wọn ká. Omi máa lè jẹ́ omi máa lè yó. Sọ di dídùn já Jèhófà o ẹ̀bẹ̀.
Hello everyone. Again, I keep apologizing for coming late. That's bad, I know. You remember we have a guest. We are connecting Dr. GODWYNS from Nigeria, who is a PhD holder in political science, and he's also an Ilaje man. He's enlightened about political affairs and how it affects communities like us, the Ilaje community, and other areas that government officials, or we believe Nigerian leaders and politicians, have neglected for the reasons we do not understand, mysterious reason, let me put it that way. So I have in the studio here, let me just let you see his face before I bring his audio in and others. So this is him. He's right there in Nigeria. So we are bringing him up by God's grace, and we'll be able to ask him some questions, okay? But before that, let me acknowledge your presence, everyone. Thank you. I need you to invite someone to be a part of this live stream. You're welcome on board. Thank you so much. This is an awareness live stream to bring the attention of Nigerian leaders to places in Nigeria that deserve to be developed because of the percentage of revenue, okay, that the government is taking from these locations, and beyond a place that deserved to be developed, they are actually neglected. Nothing is being done that is evident. No job, no, they don't cater for the land. And a place like Ilaje, for example, one of these places is a place like this. This is how a place in Ilaje land, precisely a Yetoro community, looks like, and it doesn't bother government officials, it doesn't bother Ilaje leaders, and is pathetic. So I'm creating this awareness to bring the atrocities to the global world, to the global environment, for them to see that they may show that they are nice outside there, they may finance other things, but their primary responsibility, they don't really carry it out. So the topic we have today is the neglect of Ilaje communities. Who is to blame? So we have Dr. AGBUDE. I'll be calling Dr. AGBUDE in to be a part of this. Though we can see him, we need to just bring him in. I hope the Nigerian network will be okay for us today. One of the reasons why we stayed this long is because we wanted to get that. Yes, we're calling. Yeah, we are still calling to see his response. So how are you doing, guys? All right, Dr. AGBUDE, how you doing? People can hear you loud, and so are we ready for this?
Yes, we are. I've been, well, apology first for the network that went so bad, and you know, it's been, well, we've been trying to work on this network. That explains. Well.
Wow.
Oh, we are coming.
All right, please, guys, if you are connected, give me a shout out. Good evening, sir. I see people connected. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We are calling a studio in Nigeria, and to be that's for our guest. And you can hear the network connecting and reconnecting. Hello, Dr. AGBUDE.
Yeah, I'm back. Apology again for our network. Yeah?
All right, so we have to go straight to the point since our network is bad. But let's see how it goes. So how are you doing?
Yeah, we thank God we're fine. We bless God. We're trying to be fine. Oh, we're fine.
All right, so again, you are welcome. This is my guest again, Dr. AGBUDE. So we only have to talk through the phone, so you may not be able to hear the feedback, so that we can have a good connection. So to avoid the echo, is that okay by you?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
All right, so the whole world can hear you. Everyone that is connected to this live stream now, and those that will still hear it once we are done with this live stream. Are you aware of all the atrocities? I have to use the word atrocities going on in Ilaje land. First of all, I know we have a topic before us, but first of all, what do you think about what is going on right now in Ilaje land, being totally neglected, and the Ayetoro community just experienced a disaster from the sea? So what is your take, like a general overview, an overview, please?
All right. Well, let's begin by saying that personally, even though I do not stay in Ondo State now, and I do not stay in Ilaje land, but I've never been an Ilaje in the diaspora. The reason being that
no, this isn't good. So okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just give us 2 minutes. Let me rectify this. I think we need to really hold on and correct that.
Yeah, all right. So
Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra yín. Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra. Alágídí ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra yín o. Alágídí ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè yóò rọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe.
right, our guest is back. I'm sure we made some adjustments on the network, so I want to believe this will be better. Yes, we cannot hear you right now. Go on, Dr. Agbude.
Yeah, as I was saying, I said that I consider myself not an Ilaje man in diaspora. I knew myself first as a human being in the creek of the Niger Delta. To be specific, that was in Warri. All right, and then my father moved the family down to Ondo State. I understand the dilemma in the creek because I grew up in the creek. I grew up in the creek, and I remember my father having a farmland around
So it is unfortunate we are having network issue today. Yes, you can continue directly, please. Just continue. Oh, we lost him. So, guys, you will be able to call in. I'll put up the number to call in and make your contribution. You know, you see the topic we already have right now, the neglect of Ilaje community. The neglect of an Ilaje community, who is to blame? That is what our guest is supposed to be talking about. So call in on plus, remember to put just on WhatsApp, plus 443 979 1704. Plus 1-443. You should be able to call in and make your contribution. Let me put it there. That is a WhatsApp. Okay. So please call to make your contribution. Who is to blame? Who is to blame? The neglect of Ilaje community. Who is to blame? Please call in to make your contribution as we wait for our guest to be ready with his contributions or with his network. Let me try to call him back. Feel free to call in using WhatsApp, plus 443 979 1704. Please feel free to call in. Yeah, well, I guess our guest is reconnected. Yes, Dr. Agbude, can you hear us?
Yeah, very clearly.
All right, so just continue from where you stopped.
Yeah, so I was saying that I am not a stranger to the kind of pollution that goes on in the creek, because I lived there with my parents and my siblings for some time before some of us started relocating. And I remember there was a time my father had a farmland in front of the house with plantain and banana and some other things like that. Because of the intrusion of the seawater into the waterway, the waterwork or the waterway in the region, before our very eye, all the things that the man planted got destroyed. So that tells you the kind of pollution that happens in the place. All right. I remember there is a particular place, or there was a particular place, I will here to be specific. There is a direct link between the water, and between the sea and the waterwork, the waterway, what you call the ocean, where people pass through from one village or from one village to another. So the degradation in the region is quite alarming. As a young man, I remember stumbling on some document by my father, document like materials, books, or something like write-up on the oil pollution in that region, how they needed to claim money from the government or claim money from the oil producing, oil companies. It's a lot of that. Mm. So I am not a stranger to that, and it's so alarming and so disgraceful that the region that seems to be supplying the major resources to Ondo State is in this kind of shambles. So it is an understanding I have very clearly. And I also want to quickly say that I remember my father was in a particular business that time too, which was water business, because you can't drink the water from that place. Mm-hmm. He had a big boat that would carry some cargoes and go miles away to some communities and fetch water into the bowl, into those cargoes, and bring it back to that region and begin to sell to those people. So you can't drink the water.
All right, so
there's a season where you can't even bathe in the water because it's salty.
It's salty. So is no
part of the experiences there.
All right, so no clean water, no drinkable water. They need to paddle their canoes far away in order to get, or they wait for rain. I spent some time also in Ilaje land, so I understand what you're talking about. He said there will even be a season when you won't be able to bathe with the river water because of the intrusion of the sea water, which is the salty water, into the river. You'll be shocked that as blessed as a place like that is with natural resources and all those things, they can't afford clean water. Some of them still depend on the river water. No, there's no how they sterilize it, no how they treat it. They just take it and they survive anyway. So there's no option what to do. That is just the experience they go through, and it's pathetic. So we are saying that this shouldn't be the experience for life. There has to be intervention, whether from the federal government or from anywhere. There have to be. Things cannot continue like this. Our people cannot keep dying in a place where God has put them and blessed them with what they will use, to survive. So that is the essence of this awareness. And by God's grace, we will continue until one day we'll hear that they've started coming, to do something in these locations. Dr. AGBUDE?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, so we are all still with you. I want to ask you a few questions so that you will enlighten my audience and any Ilaje people that are connected, or Nigerians, or even foreigners that are connected. So you know what is going on in a blessed nation as Nigeria because of bad leadership or administration or selfishness. Now, I'm aware that there are some agencies, there are some government agencies that are responsible for the immediate intervention on these communities where they extract oil and other natural resources. So what can you say about these agencies in Ilaje land? At least I know about NDDC, I know about SOPADEC. So what can you say about these agencies?
Well, that's where we must begin to narrow down our discourse today, especially on the issue of who is to be blamed, or who is to be blamed on the issues of Ilaje, neglect of the Ilaje communities. Mm-hmm. For me, I am going to be very, very practical in my discourse this evening. I'm simply going to say that I may not necessarily point an accusing finger at the federal government. Why? Because, you see, the agitation in the region started many years ago. I'm talking about Niger Delta generally now. Started with a man called Isaac Adaka Buru. That was the guy who first took the oil-producing, the oil companies attacked them, stood against them because of the degradation of these communities. But let me not go back to that history. Let me just go back to the creation of NDDC in the year 2000, on the 5th of June 2000, was created by the Obasanjo administration. And in 2008, Yar'Adua created what we know today as Niger Delta Ministry, and the NDDC was supposed to work under Niger Delta Ministry as a parastatal. Why are all these agencies created by the government? To be able to intervene in the happenings in the region. SOPADEC, all right? SOPADEC also was created by law of Ondo State House of Assembly in 2001. And if you ask them, what is Osopadek all about? They'll simply tell you, is to intervene in the happenings in these oil-producing communities. Are we saying that these guys, these agencies have not been doing their jobs? They have been doing their jobs. But the truth of the matter is, there is still a high level of negligence of these areas that are producing the wealth of Ondo State. Just the way the Niger Delta is suffering today as a result of the negligence of the government. Now, when we narrow it down, I try to exonerate the federal government. Why? Because there are agencies put in place to really intervene, and a lot of money goes into budgeting for the Niger Delta and the rest like that. So, in my own opinion, I want to simply say that the leaders from these communities, political leaders from these communities, have not been responsive and responsible in addressing the issue of degradation of these communities. Okay. Let's say let me just give you an instance. It was in the news, I think in the year 2015, all right? In the year 2015, it was in the news that 540 million Osopadek fraud. That was the way the news was carried.
Sorry.
540 million.
Sorry, again.
Fraud.
Okay, again. 540 million.
40 million Osopadek fraud. All right? That there were issues of money allocated to Osopadek that was supposed to be used to intervene in this community was squandered by some of these leaders there. As a matter of fact, if you try to look around, if you can't get it on national paper, traditional media, if you try it on social media, you could possibly, come around this kind of news. All right.
Let me, sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask this question now. If more than half a billion, more than half a billion is allocated and squandered, and it's in the news. Now, may I ask, squandered by who?
No. You see, I am going to avoid, there are names attached to that news. There are names.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it was said that EFCC took custody of 13 exotic cars from ex-chairman of Osopadek. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm getting it.
Exotic cars.
Okay.
So the understanding is this. There is a question of leadership and direct interest in utilizing the resources that is extracted from these people back to the community where this money is coming from. It's not that there's no allocation to NDDC in Ondo State. It's not that there's no allocation to Osopadek in Ondo State. But are these monies, are this budgetary, are they adequately utilized in taking care, in intervening in these communities? Let's not even talk about oil pollution. What about the human resources, the lives of the people that are endangered every day in these communities? I already told you that I grew up there.
Yes.
All right? I agree up there, but go and check the movers of Osopadek, the movers of NDDC. Where did they stay? Where do they have their houses? Do they even visit these areas? And you won't do something. Sometimes some of these guys, I'm sorry to say, I call them guys. Some of these men, all right, some of these leaders don't even know. They don't even know anything about this community. They don't even go there. They have their houses in Lagos. They have houses in Lagos. They have houses in Abuja. They have houses in Akure. It's almost a paradox where you say you build an Osopadek secondary school or a nursery primary school, or you say NDDC health center somewhere, and where you built it, the teachers cannot even afford to stay in that community. You have doctors who have to treat themselves of malaria before they can treat the people.
All right.
There are issues.
Yes, these are pathetic issues. And if you are just joining us, I have with me here, I have Dr. AGBUDE, a political scientist who is also an Ilaje man, and well learned in this matter that affects the Ilaje communities and other communities. And we have our topic, the neglect of Ilaje community, who is to blame. He has given us some review, and he takes his stand to say he's not going to blame the federal government, because as a matter of fact, allocations have been made, budgetaries, monies are being released to take care of this community and handed over to some governmental agencies. And you know, these agencies are being managed by people. And now, if the government wants to disburse money to these locations, they primarily deal with people from the location. Am I right, Dr. AGBUDE?
Very correct.
Okay, these are representatives of each community. Now, in the case of Ilaje land, there are Ilaje leaders and representatives who are trusted with the budgets, with the monies that are being released by the federal government for the interventions of the matters that shall be arising in these communities. So somehow, the federal government is doing her job. This money is getting to the right agencies. Yet, we do not see anything happening in this community. Dr. AGBUDE, thank you. I will ask you another question, please. The Osobade, the NDDC, I'm aware there are some Ilaje people that have been persons or chairmen or chairman of some of these agencies. I know that it's a Niger Delta thing, okay? Most of the time, the leadership or the chairmanship is not limited to the Ilaje people. Am I right?
Now, the thing is, when you talk about Niger Delta, there are 9 states, okay, in the Niger Delta. We have Abia, we have Imo State, we have Edo, we have Delta, we have Cross River, we have Akwa Ibom, we have Ondo State. There are 9 of them. Okay. Now, aside taking the general Niger Delta commissioner who stays away, within the states, each of the states have their representatives. The headquarters of Niger NDDC is in Port Harcourt. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you clearly.
It's in Port Harcourt. Okay. And now in all those states, they have, in all those states, they have their commissioners, they have their leaders, they have their offices. Okay. So when money is given to Niger Delta Commission as related to Ondo State, as related to Delta State, as related to, so all of that. Buhari does not know the way to Ilaje land. Correct. And he has never, in fact, in the history of my life, I don't think the man has ever been around Ilaje before. Okay. So there's no how Buhari will know that there is a degraded place in Ilaje. He wouldn't know that my father's plantation died before I was very high in Ilaje. He wouldn't know that people are drinking water that are already polluted by the fishes dying. Okay, and then you have issues of oil. The thickness of the oil itself could destroy anything. When what you see as a white water or a clean water turns to black before your very eye. So the thing is, this commission has offices in all the Niger Delta states. Okay. So allocations are made to NDDC, which also goes down to all the states. So it's not left for them to now use that. Okay. It's not left for them to use that to develop as intervention. Now, let me quickly say this. One of the core mandates of the commission of NDDC is to train and educate the youths of the oil-rich Niger Delta.
Yes, one of the primary commission of the NDDC is to train the youth of these oil-producing communities. Yes, Dr. AGBUDE, you are back. Okay, so as his connection, as his phone getting connected to the studio, now I want to believe that you are grasping some of these details. Dr. AGBUDE, are you back? Hello?
Yes, yes.
All right.
So there will be scholarship for the people. Okay. Yes, I'm back. Now there will be scholarship for the people. There will be schools built to train, to educate the youth. And one of the reasons NDDC was set up was to actually curb the hostility and the militancy in that region.
Okay.
In addition to that, to also develop infrastructure in the region.
Okay.
So, having understood that, therefore, NDDC should be taking notes of the lives, the development and the education of the lives of the citizens, the indigenous in this region, and then strategically develop
Yes, at any moment we lose the guest, we will definitely, still reconnect somehow. So I want to believe you are critically and carefully following his details so that you will understand what is going on there. He's back. Yes. Oh, he's going off again. Okay. So now he stopped at when the primary commission of the NDDC. Dr. AGBUDE, you are back. People can hear you. Please continue, please. All right. So we will definitely still wait for him to be reconnected because he's giving us interesting details about what is going on in the Ilaje community as it relates to the government of Nigeria, both at the federal and the state level, and the government agencies. That is what Dr. AGBUDE is trying to enlighten us. So we know where we push our energy for intervention. When we started this awareness, we have been calling the attention of the federal government of Nigeria and have been calling the attention of the state government of the Ondo State government and some of these agencies. But now we want to clearly know who is directly responsible for these neglects. Dr. AGBUDE, you are back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, please continue. Thank you.
Now, I talked about curbing hostility and militancy.
Okay.
In all fairness, if you have outside Ondo State, the day I saw on the television the kind of environmental pollution in other Niger Delta states, to be specific, Bayelsa, I was shocked. You see landslide, you see the land even breaking because the sea start receding, the sea start coming down, like we have in Awarenss, in Ilaje land, Awarenss. Like I said in Awarenss, the sea had literally penetrated into the houses, into the waterway, the waterway, which is the major place where the people travel through. I've been to the sea before, all right, and I understand what I'm saying. So the water comes in, the sea comes in, the sea. In fact, there's no barricade again. So if you want to enter the sea in Ondo State now, as far as I still remember, it's either from your own town, you can access the sea directly. Okay, or you travel through the other villages and go and enter the sea from Awarenss.
Okay.
So there's a literal penetration of salt water into the other side. Now, I will say that, let's look at this issue of, and so the government set up these agencies.
Yes.
And like I said,
the government set up the agencies. Yes. Okay. So, pardon.
Give scholarships. That's fine. All right. But it's more than that. How do we clear this rubbish? How do we?
Sorry, Dr. AGBUDE.
In this region.
Sorry. You said they give out scholarships, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Go on.
They give Yes, they give scholarship.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, we aren't saying that they are not working. All right. What we are saying is that a lot of resources are being given to these agencies to be able to deal with the issues in this region. Let me give you an instance. And I'm not talking just for the Ilaje people. I'm also now talking for the Niger Delta states.
Okay.
Niger Delta states. Okay. Remember the saga that happened in the news not too long ago when the Senate was drilling Niger Delta Commission on how they spend the money.
Correct.
Budgetary allocation, which I explain. You remember the guy, the professor that was fainting?
Yeah, we'll still bring that fainting guy up. Correct. You're right.
Now, you remember the dilemma of officer, what do you call them? Honorable, off your mark. Off your mic.
Yes.
Honorable, off your mic. Because the man was exposing some rots that was happening. A lot of factors are playing on that is affecting the region. But I'm saying that the leaders of these government agencies, the Ondo State government itself, needs to pay attention to Ilaje land. I'm not talking about Buhari. I'm not talking about House of Assembly. I'm not talking about the Speaker of the House. I'm not talking about Senate President. I'm talking about the immediate state where we are domiciled in, which is Ondo State.
Okay.
The governor needs to get involved. The agencies need to get involved. Agencies, all of those commissions put in place to address the dilemma of the Niger Delta people in Ondo State.
Okay. All right. So now, with what you are saying, Dr. AGBUDE, once the money leaves the pockets of the federal government, it goes to the state. Is that it?
It goes there.
Now,
can I bring up an issue here?
Yes, please go on, Dr. AGBUDE.
Now, aside the government agencies, either NDDC or SOPADE,
okay,
there's the place of the local government. The purpose of local government is for rural development.
Okay.
I don't know the last time anybody listening to this book or watching this book has visited Ilaje local government in Igbokoda. You see, I am actually very bothered by the irresponsibility, and I say this without any sense of regret. And this cut across all Nigeria, all the states, all the 774 local governments in Nigeria. The big problem we have is the rural people suffer at the expense of the state and the local. That's why the tiers of government we have, the federal, the state, and the local. The local is the closest to the people because the federal won't be able to assess what the problems of the people are at the rural level.
Yes.
So that's why the local government is there.
Correct.
All right?
Yes.
To stand as an intermediary between the federal and the local people, the rural people.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the way our politics is structured in Nigeria, we now have the state government between the federal government and the local government. So when allocation comes for the federal government to the state wants to give to the local. Instead of the federal government giving directly to the state, to the local government, and the local government will be able to address the problems with them. So we still have a lot of issues, okay, that are shielding the development of our people, the Ilaje people, and the other local governments all across Nigeria. And that's a big problem for us. But to narrow it down to the issue of the oil pollution, the degradation, and the low level of living in Ilaje land, I want to say I hold NDDC accountable, I hold OSOPADEC accountable, I hold the Ilaje local government situated in Igbokoda accountable, and I hold the state governments accountable. And I have nothing to do with the federal government.
All right, I guess now that you have so much enlightened us, and I'm a little bit more enlightened about the structure and the financial distribution structure, I think somehow I might need to pardon the federal government of Nigeria if it's not that they are not releasing this money. Okay, now let's talk about the Ilaje people in power. Has there ever been in history when an Ilaje man was the chairman of NDDC?
I remember there was one. I remember there was one. And sorry, I try to avoid mentioning of names. Okay.
Okay.
I try to avoid, but I also want to say that I understand the power politics between NDDC and the state governments.
All right.
Now, there is nothing that will come to NDDC that the local that the state government will not be privy to.
That's correct.
Now, there's one of the things I try to avoid as an analyst is to avoid they say, because sometimes we may be shooting the wrong arrow to the wrong place, even the right arrow to the wrong place. But I have heard from a grapevine in the past that there seems to be a kind of connection between the state government and whoever the NDDC chairman is.
Okay.
And that means that when money comes in, there's a way this guy balkanizes money. This is a Nigerian problem. It's not peculiar to the state you are talking about. There's a way we balkanize. There's a way we balkanize money. There's a way we break down money and we begin to share. And that's why, for example, you will see that the federal government will give 10,000 naira hypothetically to a local government.
Okay.
And the state government, in the person of the governor, takes 5,000 and release 5,000 naira to the chairman. And the chairman too, who is also suffering from what I call hypertensive materialism, also takes out of the 5,000 naira, takes 3,000 naira and releases 2,000 naira to take care of the community, of his people, to do capital projects and what have you. So there is a way we organize money in Nigeria, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. So in other words, even if we have an Ilaje man as NDDC chairman,
okay,
he needs to think of how to responsibly address the peculiar problems in that region.
Okay.
Because it's not independent of the governor, even though in paper, it's independent of.
Okay.
But there's a way we play our politics in Nigeria. If you do well, you can become the next governor. All right, so what do we do therefore? Any money that comes in, let us begin to think of how to take care of ourselves and take care of the rest of us. But like I said, I try to avoid hearsay. But I'm saying that I've heard from Greenvine in the past, and I know this is how Nigeria politics plays out.
All right. Dr. AGBUDE, yeah, I understand that you may not really be able to mention names because you are probably a licensed person in Nigeria and you don't want politics to encroach on you. But by God's grace, I will be able to really, I've been mentioning names since I started. And if you are connected to this live stream and you know about these men who are in power, specifically the Ilaje men who are trusted with their community, their own immediate communities where Chevron and Co extract oil. When contracts are being signed by the federal government of Nigeria, they are aware that the communities around these regions will be affected. There will be a lot of disaster because, you are interrupting the ecosystem. There will definitely be aftermath. Therefore, their primary responsibility is to release money to be able to manage these places. Nigeria is not the only nation in the world that has oil. And yet, the rate at which we talk about the disaster in the immediate community of these places where we have the crude oil is alarming and is disgraceful. Now, this is not what is just happening yesterday. we just came on board because of the incident that just happened in Ayetoro community. But this has been a persisting problem for decades. And now record has it that one leader has been going, the other has been coming till date. And yet we do not see anything being done anywhere. In fact, look at what is on the screen now. This is how the people in the community live in Ilaje land. And if you go to Niger Delta, it's another disaster entirely. Why I do not support a violent way to manage this thing? When you see the Niger Delta guys carrying guns, sincerely, it is hard to really condemn them because their leaders, people from their own community, are just, they are greedy, they are evil, they are selfish. They see their fatherland derogating this way, and it doesn't bother them. Dr. AGBUDE, let me ask you one more question, please. Are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, now.
Yes.
Now, apart from these problems in these communities being a leadership problem, is there any other way that we can call for intervention apart from the people who have been managing it for decades and we aren't seeing anything? Is there anything politically that you advise as an expert in your field? Is there any other intervention that you...
Well, I think there's...
Yes, go on.
Well, I think a lot of those enlightenment are starting now. And specifically, what you are doing is one of the things that ought to be done to also call attention of the world to that place. What happened in Niger Delta with evolution of militancy, it wouldn't have happened if the region was taken care of.
Correct.
But movement for the emancipation of Niger Delta came up as a militant group, and they began to dismantle pipelines and kidnapping and all of that. And the whole world began to look, what is happening? And then Niger Delta Avengers came up in 2016. I am not recommending that our people should form a kind of coalition and then the youth and begin to deal with our political leaders. And that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that, as a matter of fact, I talked about AGBUDE the other time.
Yes.
Who declared in 1960s, I think 1960 something, declared Niger Delta Republic.
Okay.
It was the first agitator. Let me use the word. The first person who called the attention of the world to the exploration of oil in Olubiri that was found. Of course, oil was found in Nigeria in 1956 in Olubiri in Delta Army in Bayelsa State. Okay. This man stood up against the pollution of his place. In fact, it became a source of inspiration to other militant groups that rose up today. Is it MEND? Is it NDA? All right. So the attention of the world was turned towards Niger Delta, especially in the South, because of the militancy. And that was why Obasanjo decided to react to that by creating Niger Delta Commission, which is going to be an agency that will address the problems of that region. Okay. So I am not saying that the Ilaje boys and girls should take to arm. But I'm saying that there must be a conscious effort by the affected people to hold their leaders responsible. Correct. And I say that with a sense of decency. There must be a deliberate attempt to hold usurpated commissioner, to hold the head of the agency of NDDC in Ondo State responsible. I am glad that today we have the deputy governor. The deputy governor is from our area. Mm-hmm. All right, let me now talk about that. Policies, okay. Ideology. Let me talk about Dr. AGBUDE. Now, yes, I'm also aware that the deputy
governor of Ondo State in this re-election is someone from Ilaje community. I am hoping that history will not repeat itself, because apart from rising up on the pedestal of leadership to that level of the deputy, we have chairmen of NDDC and Osopadek who are also from these places, from these Ilaje communities, and we don't see what they have done. Now, we are not saying that the deputy governor should be responsible only to the people from his tribe. We are just saying that there should be an influence in one way or the other to help the neglected people who don't deserve to suffer or die this way. I am hoping that there will actually be a result we will look back and hold on to from the deputy playing any role in one way or the other. I hope so, and I pray so, and all of us will keep watching, and we will trust God for something to happen. Dr. AGBUDE, let me ask you one more questions so that we can release you. Is that okay by you?
Is that right? Well, I would have loved to just say something about the deputy governor.
All right, go on, please. Probably he will hear you. Yeah, please go on, please. Thank you.
You know, if you look at the history of the Ilaje people,
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this, not just because I'm an Ilaje person, but because there's what I call the sense of justice. The sense of justice affects me somehow, even though I'm not the one suffering that, but somehow I have this feeling of empathy towards the person. Yeah. If you look at the history of the Ilaje people, and look at the history of the governorship and the deputy governorship of Ondo State, if this region is the one feeding these people, I mean, taking care of these states, bringing a lot of money, let's put it that way. That is the truth. We can't shy away from that. We don't need to get sentimental about that.
Yeah.
If this region is the one bringing a lot of money to these states, because we get a lot of money from oil.
Correct.
The truth is that Nigeria still lives on oil to today. Even though they are saying that the thing is going down, the price is falling, we're still living on oil.
Correct.
All right? I feel that there's nothing wrong in ensuring that some of this zoning goes towards that area, okay? But I was taken aback when I found out that Arakuni, the person of Akere Dolu,
okay,
was talking about how the reason he chose Ayedatiwa as the deputy. I was going to think, when I was going through that, I was going to say that, okay, the Ilaje people, you know, but he said that because he has been with us since 2012. And I was shocked. So the reason you picked him was because he has been with you from 2012.
Not because he will serve. Hello? Yes, as we wait for the network to be back, okay, so I hope you're getting one or two things. You will do me a favor. This is just what I can contribute in my own, within my own part. All right, our guest is back. Yes, go on, please. You might need to repeat your last few sentences because you got disconnected.
So I was just talking about the fact that his choice of Ayedatiwa has no connection to where he's coming from, no connection to what he has done before, except for the fact that he said he has been with us since 2012.
Now, Ayedatiwa is the deputy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is the current deputy governor of Ondo State, and the reason why the governor of Ondo State Governor Akeredolu went for this deputy. You know, this is the first deputy for his first tenure is different from the second deputy. So the reason why he opted for this new deputy is not because he's an Ilaje man. His primary reason is because he has been in the party or around the Ondo State government since 2012. Yes, you may continue, please. You may continue, please.
Well, I had an issue with that, but this may not be the time for us to begin to vilify people. Maybe I just have to share that. Maybe you have to do another broadcast, an awareness broadcast on that again, talking about the process of selecting leaders in Nigeria. It's something that we need to think about seriously. Well, let me narrow back to what you have been saying since.
Okay.
I have said something and I want to repeat it for the sake of record for those who may not be online now, but who will stumble on this discussion in the future.
Okay.
That I have in my mind exonerated the federal government from what is happening in Nigeria land. And I'm looking towards the persons of the governor of the states. I'm looking at the persons of the governor of the state and his cabinet. I'm looking at the NDDC commissioner from Ondo State. I'm looking at the Sopadec, all right? And I'm looking at the local government itself. All right, so that is my takeaway for our discussion tonight. So my eyes are on Buhari and the rest of his cabinet in Abuja, because there's no how they will know what our people are going through. Even if they know, there are those who have the responsibility. Why is the senator representing that region? Or where are the senators? Where are the reps representing that region? What are they pushing for? What are they lobbying for?
Yeah. So we are not sure what they are doing because we are not seeing their impact. All right? We're not seeing their impact, so we are not really so sure what they are doing. And this will make me...
In Ekiti alone, I remember when the federal government...
Yes, go on, please. Yes, go on, please, Dr. Gude. You are back. All right, so I guess we are losing him up and down. I guess I can reconnect. So now, if it's hard to know what these representatives are doing, is it that probably they are not well enlightened what their responsibilities are when they come into power? Because all I see in the Nigerian government is people who come into power, elected or selected or nominated or whatever, coming to say they are blessed to be in the place of leadership. They spend, they spend anyhow, and their primary responsibility are being heavily neglected. Dr. Gude, you are back. Please, you can continue with your comments.
Yes, on the question you asked, I think that should be a question for me, right?
Yes.
The last thing you said.
Yes.
There's what I would call the leadership crisis in Africa, or we call the leadership crisis in Nigeria, which has percolated into every area of our society. And I want to go
So I think I'll create time to bring Dr. Agude in again. I guess the network is getting bad, so let's just round up right now so that I'll be able to release you. Again, do me a favor. What I am doing with this live stream is to create awareness. At times when you are out there, you don't know what is going on with people in some of these communities. I know some of you that are coming across this broadcast right now, you're shocked to know that this is what a community where we extract crude oil in Nigeria, this is what it looks like. I know you are shocked, right? Yes, this is what it looks like. And the people who live in this environment, it is sad that they are not just only suffering and living this way, they are also dying. And that is exactly what aroused my drive to create awareness. We have corruption all over in the world. We have leadership failure all over the world. It just manifests in different degrees. But now, when sufferings now leaves the level of job, of food, of this, and now is beginning to encroach into survival, into life, people are now beginning to die, then it is already a critical issue. Of course, deprivation, poverty, and everything, they are all critical. But now, we are also still dying. And do we deserve to die? So, from all that we've taken from this live stream today, is that we exonerate the federal government according to the guest. We are saying that the federal government is doing his own best, very best, or is trying, but that the money, even if the federal government is not acting up to expectation, are you getting it? We will at least, the level, the percentage they are contributing to, we will see the effect in these immediate communities. Instead of a total neglect, and this is what a community where we extract crude oil, this is what it looks like in Ilaje land. So we are calling the attention of those who are responsible for this community to act. Leaders keep coming and going, yet these communities remain this way. And all the Ilaje men and women who are privileged to be in these offices where they could make a change, and yet they eat their own and they go abroad and hide there, and that will be all. I'm saying, just like I started saying from the very first day I started this awareness, you are feeding on blood money. But it is not too late. If you can see this video right now, it is not too late for you to start doing something. You can set up an NGO. If you've ever been a leader, in fact, I can help you set up an NGO. All of you that have been the chairman of NDDC, you are an Ilaje man of Osobadek, and you just came, you went like that, and your communities are still like this. I can help you start an NGO where you fund things, or you start it, fund it, let them know that you are restituting. Because it is evil that you pass through these leadership positions and your community is still as bad as this. You should hide your faces. Tomorrow I'll be coming online, and what I will do by that tomorrow is to bring the photo of all the past NDDC chairman or Sopadex chairman, including the current one. And let us then see the faces of people who were trusted with the money to take care of their immediate community, and they never did. The explanation they have, I don't understand. Maybe I'll be able to run into any one of them and let them tell us why they could not do anything with the money that was released. I know that some of them will really have some reasons to say that this is it and this is it. But for us not to see anything throughout their tenure in these communities, it calls for questioning. And don't think that if you escape EFCC or you escape this, you can't escape the judgment of God. I'm a religious person. I'll bring religion to it. And you are probably religious people. And yet, as religious people as you are, your evil has no boundary. Some of you go to churches and mosques. And this is what you do. The money you're supposed to use to develop your... Look at Ilaje land. Look at how Ilaje land is. Look at the mud that is still there. Look at it. Look at Ilaje land. And we have people who have, been appointed. They have been there, they have gone, they live large. Please, don't go to churches to go and be donating. People still recognize all these leaders as big people, and they want to associate with them. Go and associate with them, but remember that many of them, their lives are sealed for judgment because of the way they have managed the money that are supposed to be used to develop the Ilaje community, the NDDC states. It's evil. We keep blaming the federal government. At times, sincerely, we should let them be. And we should talk to our immediate leaders. And let me again address our obas. The obas in Ilaje land. The little I have known about the obas in the Yoruba kingdom is not for fashion. The little I know about obas in any tribe is not for, it's also for leadership administration, effective leadership administration. If we talk about the local government, this is the grassroots. I guess the oba, the chiefs, they relate directly with the people of every community. So everybody can be even reached. You don't accuse the federal government over a grassroots issue. We should talk to the grassroots leaders. At this point, if there is no forum for the obas in Ilaje land for these decades, I think you should begin to create one so that you can address. Imagine us to display terrible pictures like this, and with your crown and with your palace during your outing, somebody brings out a picture like this and say, this is your land. How does it sound? How does it look? It will be disgraceful in that manner. I think there should be a forum where Ilaje obas in Ilaje land can also do something. If the obas put themselves together, gather themselves together as one voice, reaching out to the local government, reaching out to the state government, reaching out to the federal government, we will have a change in the land. Presently, Ilaje is a no-no development-wise. There is no major source of income for the Ilaje land as we are talking now. There is no major source of income for the Ilaje people as we are talking. I'm thinking that a place where we extract natural resources, a place like Ilaje land, there should be huge companies all over who will be source of employment, jobs, opportunity for the people. They still fish as their primary source of income. They cannot even fish the way they used to because of oil spillage. And the Ilaje leaders are comfortable. It is evil. It is evil. I will keep calling your attention to it. And those of you that are taking money from them, be careful. Don't spend it on your children. These people are bringing curses on families. If you see how many houses some of them have abroad, the moment they are made chairman of some of these agencies, they celebrate that it is our time to eat. And you don't do anything on these communities. Since we can't stop you from eating or embezzling money, at least develop your communities. Where are your brains, Ilaje leaders? Develop your community. Talk senses into yourself. Stop being evil. How are you different from the people who kill in the northern part of Nigeria? You are killing our children with your negligence, selfishness, greed, and evil heart. You're killing them. Tomorrow, I'll be seeing you guys. I'm sorry I came late today. I'm very sure that we'll be okay by tomorrow. Our network was bad because we'll have a guest connected from Nigeria. And that's part of the failures of leaders. Till date, electricity is not stable in Nigeria. Till date, internet connection is not stable. And it's extremely expensive. You are selling out your land. Leaders in Nigeria. It's not going to be like this forever. Sincerely, I just pity your future generation. It shall be well, guys. I want to encourage you. Don't be discouraged. We are affected by the misbehavior of our leaders. But please, no retreat, no surrender. Don't, whatever you cannot change, don't hang your life on it. Keep running. Look at other angles where you know you can make yourself happy. You can earn some livings for yourself. I was saying yesterday when I came online, I said, connect with people a lot. And if eventually you are privileged to serve the people, as a young person, you're privileged to serve the people, I want you to remember something. That leadership is not to lord over the people, it's to serve the people. Leadership to most people in Africa is a place of authority, a place to exhibit authority, a place to exercise authority, a place to be in charge and control people. But that is not the true meaning of leadership. Leadership means to serve. And once you are a leader in your community, in your religious organization, in your company, in your businesses, you are expected to run the affairs of that organization or that nation smoothly in such a way that no single citizen or anybody who is a part of that organization will be neglected. That is exactly what good leadership should be talking about. And if you are put at the ends of affair where you should disburse money to manage projects, it's not a place to enrich yourself. If you don't do what you're supposed to do in your community, someone is going to die as a result of that. Sincerely, death may not mean the physical death. There are a lot of dyings going on daily basis because of the failure of leadership in most African nations, most especially Nigeria, most especially in Ilaje land. I call your attention to it. Let it be said once you are done with your tenure that during your time some developments entered your community. Let history has it that when you were the chairman of a Sopadek, these were the things that were done in the Ilaje community. Let it be said in the next 20 years, let's tell our children and children that this man was a good man. When we meet your great-grandchildren, do not let us curse them. Let us bless them because of what you have done. There was something my father lived for, that even when I don't have enough money to take care of my children, even when I don't have enough money to take them to the best schools in the world, let the role I play as a leader, let it be a good role, so that someday, when someone who has benefited from my leadership role come in contact with any of my children, they will not curse them. Rather, they will bless them. That has been a policy my father lived on till he died. And to the glory of God, I am proud to talk today because my father lived a good life for his family, his community, the larger land, even Ondo State, even Nigeria, even across the globe. Talk to your dad. Talk to your mom. If they are leaders in any capacity, anywhere, Africa, Ilaje, let them know that, see, let me tell you this. I give no regard to any leader, no matter who you are. If there is nothing in the life of the people and even in your community that will speak for you as a leader during your period, there's no regard. No matter what you wear, no matter the amount of money you have, before I will go ahead to celebrate any great person, I ask how many people he or she has impacted. I'm an African woman, but there are a lot of mindset we need to change as African people. Someone is not great because he has a lot of estate, a lot of money. Greatness should be defined by how many people you impacted positively. That is my own simple definition of greatness. Not the number of people you lord over, not how much money you have in bank accounts, not how many, anyone whose bank account is fat, anyone who has great names, who has great positions, who has great industry, who leads mighty organizations, and people suffer under you. You are not a good person. That is the simple arithmetic. You are either evil, you are either an exploiter, you are either occultic, demonic, and you are living on the people. You are not serving. God cannot trust you with anything. Okay? And let me tell you, there is an end to every act in life, both good and bad. And all of them have their own aftermaths. With what you are doing now, with the position where you are, in the next few years, when you are no longer in that same position, what will people be saying about you? Will they curse you or will they bless you? Think about it. And I pray the heart to submit to God and serve the people will be given to every leader in Nigeria, in Ilaje land, in Africa, in America. In the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I love you all. In your own way, create awareness and be a blessing to someone tomorrow. Okay? I know you are going to bed anywhere you are in the nation you are now. Be a blessing to someone anywhere you are tomorrow. Make it a point of duty. And God bless you. Amen. Thank you so much. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye.
Woodpecker a fún ẹyẹ yìí lágbára kan tí ẹyẹ mìíràn kò ní. A máa fi àkó ẹnu rẹ̀ dá ihò sára igi nínú igbó bó ti wù kí igi ọ̀hún le tàbí kó tóbi tó. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe. Lọ́jọ́ kan ẹ̀wẹ̀ ìgbéraga gùn ún lọ́kàn ó gbàgbé pé agbára òun kì í ṣòun lòun ní pé Olódùmarè ló ní. Ó pé pàdé àwọn ẹyẹ yòókù sì wá ó gbéraga ó sì sọ fún wọn ó ní lọ́jọ́ tí ìyá òun bá kú òun á fi ẹnu wa hò sínú àpáta òun á sì sin ìyá òun sínú rẹ̀. Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra yín. Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè yóò rọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe. Ó sì ṣe lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ díẹ̀ ìyá rẹ̀ ṣàìsàn dójú ikú ó wá ń bẹ Ọlọ́run kí ìyá òun má ti kú nítorí pé typhoid fever pàápàá ń ṣe òun lọ́wọ́ ìbẹ́ sì ti bà ẹnu rẹ̀ jẹ́ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ tí kò lè fi àkó ẹnu rẹ̀ dá ewé lu mọ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe jàre. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe o. Kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀? Ìyá rẹ̀ kú. Gbogbo àwọn ẹyẹ tí àkókò ti gbéraga lójú rẹ̀ wá fọwọ́ lẹ́rán. Wọ́n fẹ́ wo Boye fẹ́ sin ìyá rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀. Ìbẹ́ ti bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́nu kò lè sin ìyá rẹ̀ sínú igi bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò lè sin sínú àpáta. Ó bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún ọjọ́ púpọ̀ kan tó bá sin ìyá rẹ̀ ọ̀hún sínú èèpẹ̀ amọ̀. Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra yín. Àgbéraga ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra. Àbànújẹ́ ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra yín. Àbànújẹ́ ẹ lọ ṣọ́ra. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè. Òjò ẹ̀san kò ní gbé sókè yóò rọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe o. Ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run dàbí òwe o. My people, this world e get as e be. If Ilaje man tell you say bí wo ráyé dùn má bójú ẹ̀yìn, that mean to say if you see this world people make you run no look back. Dem set armed robber free, dem carry Jesus go kill. Wò àrètí bára bá bàjẹ́ wo ọmọ lọ́rùn lórí bí. wo àrètí bára bàjẹ́ wo ọmọ lọ́rùn lórí bí. ayé agbẹ́bí fún àlàré ayé agbáre fún ẹlẹ́bí wọ́n dàbàrà bá olè sílẹ̀ wọ́n mú Jésù wọn kà mọ́ kiri. àyànfẹ́ mo bẹ̀ yín ẹ ṣọ́ra ayé tẹ̀rí yẹ burú gan. àyànfẹ́ ni wọ́n ti ta lọ́fà àdáni lóró gbàgbé ọ̀la. wòlíì ọjọ́ ńlá kò rí mọ́ àdáni lóró gbàgbé ọ̀la. ayé agbẹ́bí fún àlàré ayé